Chris.
Hey Donovan, what do you take away the most from this one?
Obviously, they made a bunch of shots. They get out in transition. We didn't make shots, but give them credit. They came in here and handled business. They were physical. I mean, we would love to go 16-0, but that's not how this works. So, sorry. Should probably. Like I said, they made shots. We got to be better defensively. Offensively, we didn't make shots, and you got to give them credit. But, not easy to go 16-0, so we got to find a way, and respond. That's the biggest thing. Nothing to hang our heads about. We'll be fine, and we'll be better.
For either one of you guys, what, if anything, can you do to get the pace more in your favor and dictate terms in a way that maybe you couldn't tonight?
I think there's a few adjustments. Definitely going to talk about tomorrow, and I think a lot is to do with defensively, getting a bit more stops, and get out in transition in our favor, and then offensively, how we could score just easier and just keep attacking. It helps to make shots and slows their transition up as well. So just talk about different adjustments we're going to make.
Nate.
Hey, Donovan. How much do you think this series is going to test you guys mentally and physically after
1,000%. 1,000%. I mean, like I just said, it would have been great to come in here and sweep these guys too, but that's not how this works, man. This is, an uphill battle. It's always going to be the playoffs. I said it during the media the other day. Like, this is an experienced basketball team. They're not going to waver. They've been there before, and for us, this is one game. You know what I mean? The biggest thing is just how do you respond, look at the film. But this is what it's about, mentally, physically, continually, going and going and going. And, they hit first, and we got to respond.
Each of you guys, how did you make out physically? I mean, I think you were a little banged up. What happened? How are you doing?
Just came down wrong a little bit. Right now, it's all good. See how it feels tomorrow, get some treatment, and move forward from there. But, I mean, that's the playoffs. I mean, you got to stay healthy as possible, get as much treatment as possible, and be as ready as you can.
Dan.
Donovan, you guys had one of your worst three-point shooting nights of the entire season tonight. What did you think of the offensive shot quality that you guys had?
We missed good looks. We missed a lot of good looks. And then when you miss shots, that's when they get going in transition. You know what I mean? So I like a lot of the looks we got. I mean, I was 1 of 11 from 3, and some of them were wide open. You know what I mean? Some of the shots I've made. And, the biggest thing is, when the shots aren't falling, how do you respond? But when a team like this, they run like that, it makes it tough. So, we miss shots, and we'll be better, and, we'll be ready for game 2.
A lot of the talk leading into the series was about the pace that they play at. How did you think that you guys adjusted to that? What did you learn about how you could move forward?
Yeah, I think in the first half, they, dictated. I mean, throughout the game, they dictated. I think in the third quarter, we made our run, and, we kind of figured it out in different ways. Now we just got to find a way to, I won't say we figured it out because we lost, but, we figured some things worked, and now we got to go back and watch it and watch why it worked and then go from there. But, like I said, you got to give them credit. They came in here and dictated the game, so it's on us to make adjustments and be ready for game 2.
Kenny mentioned some of those adjustments in that second half. Things were working a little bit for you guys. You're proud of some of the things you were doing. Donovan, for you, I mean, what was maybe your message as one of the big leaders of this team going into that second half of cleaning things up?
I mean, we got down 12. It's all right. This is nothing to freak out about. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that, it's a long game. They made a lot. They made some shots. And like I said, you got to come in and give them credit. To make shots on the road, game 1 set that tone. That's credit to them. But, never hang in your head. Don't trip. That's pretty much been the message the whole time. And even tonight, understanding that, look, we didn't play our best basketball, we'll be better. So my message is pretty much consistent regardless. But, understanding that, hey, we found some things that we can, be better at, and we'll be better.
Do you feel like those adjustments, some of the things that work, you feel like there's a good chance of you guys being able to carry that over into game 2?
I mean, we got to look at the film and then we got to execute. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing. I could tell you what it was, but we got to go out there and execute on the floor. And I have no doubt that we will. You know, that's the team we've shown to be. And it's one game. I mean, yeah, we lost home court advantage technically, but it's one game, and you just got to respond for game 2.
Joe.
Talked a lot the other day about Tyrese, and he played well tonight. But what does Andrew do for them? What did he do for them tonight, and what does he sort of allow them to do overall?
I mean, he went 5 or 6 from 3, hit some big shots. I mean, but he's been doing that. I mean, he did it last year against the Knicks, and he had damn near a triple-double against the Celtics averaging. So he's tough, man. You know, he's a guy that obviously we know what he brings defensively, but offensively when he's able to give them that, him and Neesmith, you know, when they're able to give them that, it's huge. And then it opens the lane for Tyrese to kind of get in there and create. So, you know, he's tough, but, you know, ultimately for us, we got to find ways to contain everybody and be better.
Is there a difference between knowing that they play really fast and they play with force and then actually seeing it?
Yeah, I mean, it's you don't practice at that pace, you know what I mean? But ultimately, we were able to find ways to, you know, we just weren't able to continue to do it, and that's on us. And we'll look at the film and find ways to continue to do it.
Ash.
Donovan, just with you, the 30 shot attempts tonight, I guess how do you feel about that in terms of the overall number of shots?
Right now, my answer is probably like, damn, it's a lot of shots, but, you know, I look back at the film and evaluate it. But ultimately, man, like, you know, just trying to find ways to be aggressive. You know, there are times, obviously, I haven't watched the film, so I can't, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say this is terrible or great or whatever, but I'll be better and, you know, be better for the group.
To go back to Danny's question, just about the three-point shooting for you guys, how much do you think some defensive breakdowns on the other end maybe contributed to offensive struggles or a bit of stagnation tonight or anything?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have the best pace. I feel like you said, we don't practice at that pace, so it's definitely different. Being out there and playoff atmosphere as well, and everything's high intensity, so I think we got to play with more pace offensively and get to our spots and knock down shots at the end of the day. That's really all it is, because I feel like we got a lot of good looks. We just got to make them, and I feel like we will next game.
Spence.
Just kind of branching off what Ashley just asked about the 30 shots. It seemed like a lot of those were layups and getting into the paint. Like, was this more of a jump shot thing? You guys were missing jump shots? Because it seemed like you guys got in the paint the whole game.
Are you talking about me specifically or the group?
Whole
We miss shots we make. Yeah, we miss open looks, and nothing to hang our head about. We've missed shots before, and we've lost games before from not making shots. But, you know, it's not we're not going to sit here and say, oh, if we make shots, we win games. We got to find a way to still win this game, even though we don't make shots. And ultimately, we didn't do that tonight. But yeah, we got good looks, man. And, you know, don't hang our head. Just be ready for game 2.
And defensively, it seemed like a lot of the time they were on one side of the floor and then kicking it to the other side. Just defensively, what do you think about just the positioning and how you can contest better maybe on the other side?
I mean, yeah, they do a good job of moving the ball. That's one of their strong suits. I feel like they share the ball and use everyone pretty well. So I think we gotta just guard our yard a little better and not be as much in the paint and worry about the kickouts more so, and have whoever's on the ball just guard the yard.
Last one, Joe Reed.
Donovan, I know it came in a loss, but your 8th straight series opening game with 30 points, surpassing Jordan. Just does it feel like to get that mark?
Jordan won game 1. You know, I mean, it's always great to be in great company, but, man, we lost. I shot 30 times. Like I said, I'll be better. That's not something I come into. I always try to be aggressive to start a series, but Jordan won. Game 1, I didn't. So